Good morning. I am Cornelia and responsible for marketing and communication at Adnovum. I'm thrilled to welcome so many attendees and will hand over right now to Werner and Gerrit. Please, the stage is yours.
Perfect. Thank you, Cornelia. I hope you can hear me and everything works well. Welcome to our webinar about accessibility. My name is Gerrit Kozian. I joined at Novum this year in March and also moved to Switzerland this year. I work in the fields of project management and business analysis. Had my first touch points with accessibility implementation 2 years ago during a software development project for the German Federal Ministry of Finance. It started off with accessible PDF design and the testing of meaningful output of those PDFs by a screen reader, and ended in the management of a project where we redesigned a text portal to be accessible. And with that, Werner, I hand over to you for a quick introduction of yourself.
Audio now unmuted.
Thank you very much. My name is Werner Henke. I am visually impaired, almost blind now. I have studied computer science at the ETH Zurich many years ago. Afterwards, I worked as a software engineer for different companies, and I am with Adnovum since 2002, where I first also worked as a software engineer. And since 2018, I am a member in the UX team at Adnovum, where I am responsible for accessibility. So that's it from my side.
Perfect. Thank you, Werner. Yeah, let's jump to a quick overview of the webinar today. So today's presentation is all about accessibility. We'll cover what it means and why it is necessary to understand it. Afterwards, we'll have a guessing game with some facts and figures where we will test your knowledge. And then Werner will explain what a screen reader is and how he navigates websites with more or less success. Then we'll figure out who's responsible for accessibility, how do we do it, and especially when. And then afterwards, we'll wrap up the session with a quick summary. So let's start with the definition of what accessibility is. Accessibility is the design of products and services or environments to be usable by people with disabilities in general. And some of you may have already heard about related concepts like universal design or inclusive design, which is the process of creating products that are usable by people with the widest possible range of abilities. And overall, we can say that it's about making things accessible to all people. So this is what accessibility is all about. And this is the basic definition of it. When we are talking about accessibility, inclusive design, universal design, it's always about removing barriers and making services, both physical and digital, available to everyone. And there are 3 types of barriers that we are going to point out. The first barrier is physical, so physical barriers. It's typically missing ramps at the train station, but Werner also recently told me that he uses lampposts or other landmarks for orientation. And if for some reason those landmarks are different than they usually are, for example, when I park my bike at a lamppost, this can be disorienting for him. So creating a physical barrier, even though I really don't want to. Then next up is the digital barrier. In general, in the digital world, it can be missing alternative text on images or inaccessible web design. So websites that are not designed with screen readers in mind, so to say. And then the third barrier is the social barrier. There's a saying that people are being disabled by society, and it is sadly often true. That we believe that everyone can see and understand and do the same as oneself is actually the biggest barrier of all. Missing awareness and especially empathy is the root cause for a lot of inaccessible solutions that are being built. Yep. So next up, people with disabilities. There are many types of disabilities. Some are more visible than others. For example, blindness or people with mobility disabilities. But most, however, are not visible, like deafness or low vision. A quick example, 1 in 12 male persons has a color red-green deficiency. And we loosely call it color blindness, but those people can actually have problems with interactive elements such as buttons or with graphs or charts when it comes to data visualization. And also learning and speech disabilities are not visible. So by far the most common disabilities at the moment are cognitive because they are so diverse. Examples therefore are short-term memory loss or attention deficit. And finally, there are also many facets of psychological disabilities that are not visible. For example, social anxiety or behavioral disorders. And they all are wrapped around the topic of disability. But most importantly, the focus should not be on the disability, but on the people, which is very important for us at this webinar here today. So yes, it is mainly people that benefit from accessible services, websites, and apps. For example, people with disabilities, it allows them to go voting, to do their taxes, to go shopping, to live an everyday, independent, self-fulfilling life. But for them, it is not a nice to have. It is essential, and it also can be life-saving. Just imagine a smoke alarm giving only acoustic signals. I mean, a person with a hearing impairment would not hear that. And this is why fire alarms also have a strobe light, for example. For everybody else, accessibility improves their overall experience because the text is larger, it has better contrast, it is easier to be read in various conditions. Buttons and links are easier to click because they are bigger and have a larger click area. And it just improves the lives for everyone, and this, for everyone in here in this webinar too. So the question is, what have people with disabilities in common with everybody else? They are website users. They watch or listen to videos on YouTube, they attend courses on Udemy, and they buy stuff online at Galaxus or Amazon or wherever. And this brings me to another group which benefits greatly from accessibility. And this group or those groups are businesses. Accessibility is good for business. Accessible code is good for search engine optimization. It is more robust and future-proof, which gives you a competitive advantage to other companies. People that can access your services will talk about their positive experience, which improves your image as a business. Allowing more people to use your services simply will lead to more customers and more turnover. accessible websites are easier to maintain, work on more browsers, in more screen resolutions. It will reduce support calls on and so on your overall cost. And a new point for Switzerland in this context, accessible digital services, they provide legal conformity, especially in the context of the upcoming European Accessibility Act, where providers of digital services must ensure that their services comply with the European Accessibility Act's accessibility requirements. So businesses really profit from having accessibility as one of their priorities. As you have seen, there are many kinds of disabilities, of which most are not visible. And to sum it up, accessibility benefits everyone, people and businesses. So now we are going to have right here in Zoom, we are going to start a poll and discover some facts and figures about accessibility together. So let's jump to the questions, and yeah, I'm looking forward for the results. Yes, you can just start. And maybe Cornelia, you can give me a quick heads up when the poll is over and the results are in.
I will, Garrett. Hold on a second, a few more seconds. The results will be here in a second. Here they are.
Yeah, I think I can share them too.
Please.
So I didn't answer the questions, which is why it says falsch. So yeah, those are some really interesting numbers. So let's jump to the first question. So how many people worldwide have some kind of disability? And it's 1 in 6, so it's around 15%, which is a huge number when you think about the world population. So by building not accessible or non-accessible services, we exclude 1 out of 6 people, which is insane. It's a crazy number. How many persons with disabilities work? And this comes from the Statistisches Bundesamt, I think it is, in Switzerland. So around here, it's 69%, which seems to be a high number. But then again, around 30% are excluded. And I think there's lots of space for improvement. And then the third question, how many websites have accessibility issues? And this number is through the roof. We are talking about 96% here. So 96% of websites have accessibility issues, and people like, for example, Werner have trouble navigating through those websites and using the services there. So with those facts and figures, I think you can see that there's a need to build accessible services. And with that, we should have seen that disabilities, they affect us all, and we are all influenced by accessibility and building accessible solutions. And just a quick sum up. So now I would like to hand over to Werner for the demonstration. Werner, can you unmute yourself?
Audio now unmuted.
Yes.
Okay,
Can you-
I will stop sharing my screen now.
You have viewed Gerrit Kozen has stopped.
So let me try.
Desktop 11 screen. Zoom sharing options. Switch screens. 1 of 3. Switch.
Okay, this looks good, but you are
Unmute my
yeah, perfect.
So you can hear me?
button.
Yes.
Okay,
Zoomas, Finder, Safari, Zoomas audio submenu, mute my audio, button, Zoomas, your space with Zoomas containing window audio submenu, Safari, tab bar, group vertical splitter, tab bar, vertical splitter, collapsed on left, tab bar, group, bunk vertical line bank of bunk out, vertical splitter, collapsed on left. Bunk vertical line bank of vertical splitter collapsed on.
I think I have to reload the page. Sorry.
Reload page. Bunk vertical splitter tab bar group tab bar toolbar tab vertical split visited link image bunk logo banner.
Okay, think I'm ready.
Link compare plans banner.
So here I am on the demo, and I would like to show you how I would, whether it's possible to set up a bank account on Bank. Bank is a neobank from the Netherlands. They offer mobile banking, and they're relatively successful in Europe. And so I would like to go through the website, and you can just listen to the screen reader, and I will comment what I actually am doing and what the screen reader says.
Vertical splitter collapsed on left.
Something is not working as it should.
Link login banner. Link button banner.
So here is a button, and it just says button, but I really don't know what the button is about, but I just try to click on it.
Vertical splitter collapsed on left. Vertical splitter collapsed group. That link heading level 3 menu item group banner link button banner.
So I just stop my screen reader and start it again. Sorry for that.
Voiceover off. Voice link heading level link login link heading level 3 link button.
Okay, let me start.
Animation button.
Now here I go through this menu.
Banking that makes life easy. Get an international credit card, experience effortless budgeting, and enjoy travel insurance without having to think about it. Safari not responding.
So I have a
one button.
And here there are buttons, and it just says
2 button.
1 button, 2 button,
3 button. Try for free button. See how Bank works button.
And then there's a button that says see how Bank works. So I click on this because I'm interested, and now you can see for yourself what happens. So that was probably nice for you. but meaningless for me because I have no idea what the video is about. There's no sound, nothing spoken. And actually, it doesn't help me so much.
Try for free
So
button.
I click here on try for free. Let's see what this brings me.
Blank image. What are you interested in?
So what I'm interested in.
Customize your plan to fit your needs. Don't worry, you can always change it later. For me, deselect all button.
So here it's a button that says deselect all, and that suggests that there are some things that I can choose from. So I say, for example, just deselect all for the moment.
Select all. Travel insurance, clickable.
And here it says, for example, the first travel insurance clickable. So I think this is a checkbox, but I have no idea whether this is true.
Up to 2% cashback, clickable.
The same here. And if I, for example, would like to choose this one, I click on this, but I have no feedback from the screen reader that I have just selected this option.
Cross-border banking, clickable.
The same here. I try this one. So let's move down a bit.
Automated by bank account up to 2 credit card with for my business. Select all button.
I deselect this one.
Deselect all. Travel insurance. Click deselect all button.
Okay, deselect all. That's what I want.
Select all. Travel in cross-border business. One company. Accept card payment. Next button.
Now I click on next.
First name required.
So here it says first name, and it also says
Invalid data. Edit
that
text.
this field is required. So I just enter my name.
W-E-R-N-E-R.
Then
Last name required. Invalid
also
data.
my
Edit
last
text.
name.
H-A-E-N-G-G-I. Day. Edit text.
And here it says day. So here this entry field requires the day, but I'm not sure which day actually, or which date. So I would have to move, in this case, back.
Day. Date of birth.
It wants the date of birth. So
Day. Edit text.
I just entered that.
09. Month. Edit text.
Month.
03. Year. Edit text. 1/1963.
Okay.
1963.
Now I've entered this.
Email address. Required invalid data.
entered
Edit
an
text
email
email field.
address.
W-E-R-N-E-R Werner. Period. H-A-E-N-G-G-I. Werner Hiengi at A-D-N-O-V-U-M. Werner C-H at +41.
And here plus 41 is obviously the number for Switzerland. So obviously here is the phone required, and I just enter a fake number.
+41 7 9 79 1 2 3 104 5 6 7
Okay.
67. Switzerland +41.
And this
List box pop up
belongs
button.
to the field of the phone number.
Address.
And it wants now the address.
Use current location. Clickable.
And
Enter manually button.
I say enter manually. So I click on it, nothing seems to happen.
Use current location. Country. Flag of Netherlands. Netherlands.
It says Netherlands, but I'm in Switzerland, so we have to change this.
Search text field. Blank.
This is very nice. It opens search, and I type in Switzerland.
S-W-I-T-Z-E-R-L-A-D. Switzerland. S. Flag of Switzerland.
So I click on this, but it doesn't, the screen reader doesn't tell me that's really clickable. I just try it, and it seems to work.
Postal code.
So
Flag of Switzerland. Switzerland. Postal code. Postal code. Required invalid data. Edit text.
I enter the postal code.
8004 8004. House number.
Then
Required
the
invalid data.
House
Edit text.
number.
1 70 100
Okay.
city required invalid data. Edit text Z U R I C H street required BADENERSTRASSE
So,
Bedenistress.
okay, then I tap.
Link terms and conditions.
And here I end up on the link to the terms and conditions. But before
I agree to the Bedenistress. I agree to the
here I would expect a checkbox, but the screen reader does not recognize a checkbox that I should check in order to agree to the terms and conditions. And if I do try,
agree.
I have no feedback. I really don't know whether I checked something or what happened.
Link terms and conditions, comma, link privacy statement, comma, link pricing, period. I want to be updated about important matters from bank.
And here the same, probably this is, here should also be a checkbox, but I have no idea whether there is one or not and whether I can check it or not. So I can try.
Important. Next, dimmed button.
And here is the next button. And it says dimmed. That means I haven't completed this form. So I'm not able to complete this form. I'm not able to sign up for a bank account. So here my journey with bank stops. And I can make a few remarks. These things that you saw here are quite common. We see them, or I see them on many websites, checkboxes that are not implemented in an accessible way, or that I cannot select terms and conditions, etc. So I can here close this window.
Link button.
And actually, I can perhaps to show you a few more things on this website. I navigate a bit further.
Link, heading level 3, menu item.
Here it says menu item, but I have no idea what menu exactly.
Link, heading level 3, menu item.
The same.
Visited, link, heading level 3, menu item. Link, heading level 3, menu item. Link, heading level 3, menu item. End of, heading level 1, bank of the free. Heading level 4, mobile banking that makes life easy. Try now. No, link, button, scroll indicator, image.
And here you see something that's quite funny for people who don't use screen readers, but it's not so funny for me. Just listen.
Image, 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 image.
And I think there are about 26 of these images. They don't have a text to a label, so it's actually completely useless for me. And also such things I see quite often. And with this, I would like to end the demo, and I hope you gain some insights from it. Thanks.
Perfect. Thank you, Werner. I will try to take over the screen from you again. Give me a second. I think this worked. Perfect. So yeah, fantastic demo. Thank you as always. Thank you also for telling us how your experience was, and so that now that everyone knows how hard it is to navigate a website for someone that uses assistive technologies. Let's see how who should take care of it and how we should take care of it. So let's start with the who. So obvious now, what I want to show you is this, that everyone can and should be a part of an accessible solution. And it is important to give the topic the priority it deserves. Mainly concerning the leadership and project management. They can be driving forces to ensure funding and attention to the topic. Then also making sure your clients know about it too. So sales, marketing, the key account management, they should be involved. Accessibility should be included in sales activities, but then other roles that should have touch points with accessibilities are business analysts, requirements engineers, of course UX designers. They should gather and specify the requirements, taking into account that there are different abilities that need to analyze accessibility. There are also many different tools, processes, guidelines for designers and developers that can help you follow the standards. But especially for the development, it is crucial to use native HTML and know when and how to properly use ARIA, which it's a set of roles and attributes that can help make web content accessible. And then lastly, don't forget to test. You can easily, as we demonstrate, you can easily try to not use a mouse when testing, or even learn how to use a screen reader or other widely used assistive technologies. So starting with the most important step, the how. Basically, it's being aware and open-minded. Building an accessible application or website can be a daunting task in the beginning, and so learning about the barriers and how to navigate through them is the next step. Here are some international standards like the Web Content Accessibility Guidelines, ARIA or ATAC. That can help you. They have been published by the W3C, which is the World Web Consortium. And although the Web Content Accessibility Guidelines are only a guideline, it has become the standard to measure and ensure the right level of accessibility. And it's the foundation for a lot of laws that are being implemented around the world. So as you can see, there are many resources freely available that you can use when designing digital accessible services. And then betting on the standards horse is usually a good plan, also for technologies. So old school HTML tags do 90% of the job of providing out of the box keyboard and screen reader accessibility. The challenge here is just not to be too creative with JavaScript. So as you can see, there are also helpful tools or browser plugins that give designers and developers and testers ways to check their website and application. And it's basically about being open-minded enough to use those plugins, use those tools, get to know HTML tags and so on. Then there's a question about when to start with accessibility. And the easiest answer is do it now. In other words, accessibility should become a key ingredient in building quality software. On top of that, as we already said, the European Accessibility Act will come into force in 2025 and thus provides additional legal requirements also for Swiss businesses. So there's no time anymore to wait with making all services and products accessible. And like any difficult to grasp topic, the cost to do it after building, testing, and releasing increases with every step. So don't do it after building your software, do it while building it, do it beforehand, analyze it. And lastly, treat it like security or usability, which you wouldn't bake into a product once it has been released. It's been thought of before. So really important. Plan for accessibility from the start or even before. Train the personnel, hire external consultants and specialists, identify the gaps and requirements, learn from people with disabilities that use your product. Do the research. Then when it comes to design, so design for accessibility, it takes it into account UI and UX design, but also technical design, like framework decisions, design systems, components, and so on. Then continuously implement it. Ensure that developers are aware of the requirements for accessibility, that it's not just a feature. Learn about how developers can use those browser tools and those extensions to ensure accessibility. And lastly, test it, as we said. So don't forget, everybody's responsible. Everybody's responsible for accessibility. And it's not just a nice to have anymore. It becomes a must have, especially in a context of the European Accessibility Act and whether you're placing your services and products on the EU market. However, it should be mentioned that compliancy should not be the goal to ensure accessibility, but a tool, which is what I really want to emphasize here. So we are coming to the end of our webinar. Let's wrap it up a bit. Let me give you a quick summary. So what we learned is that disabilities can be visible or invisible, and they affect us all. Accessibility is not just a nice to have, but it's essential. And it improves usability for everyone and is good for business. Everyone in the product lifecycle has the responsibility to drive accessibility, and it is not a witchcraft to include accessibility with all the tools and resources that are available, mostly for free on the market. And then, most importantly, accessibility is not a feature. It's a critical quality marker. And it's just like security, or you should see it like security or usability. It must be considered at the start of the project so that costs are being minimized and you don't have the big problems when your service is already running, the development is already done, and then you notice, oh, we are not accessible. And with that, I thank you very much for the attention. It was fun. I think it was also fun for Werner to demonstrate it. The webinar has been recorded, so you can also access the recording. And if you liked this webinar, you may also want to register for our next webinar, which really focuses on the European Accessibility Act, takes place in September. And yeah, we are looking forward to your registrations, looking forward to your questions. If you want to reach out to us, you can always contact us via mail or me at least via LinkedIn. And thank you for your attention and for your time.
Great, Gerrit. Thank you so much. Thank you so much also, Werner, for the demo. Indeed, we do have received 3 questions. Werner, I think the first one goes to you. Which barriers are very typical barriers that you encounter the most, online and offline?
Changes.
Thank you very much. That's a very great question. as online, as you saw, here you saw many barriers that I encounter on a daily basis. For example, that I'm not able to check the terms and conditions, or that the website has images without textual labels and so on, or that the menu or the navigation isn't well structured, or the website hasn't an appropriate structure with headings, etc. Offline, more and more, for example, kitchen appliances are digital or have touch screens, and
Zoom webinar
that's
window.
really a problem, because most of them, or even I would say the overwhelming majority of these devices are not accessible, except if there is an app that you can use in order to operate it. But well, sometimes even this one isn't accessible. So that's a great problem that will, I think, increase. And regarding the tools, online, it's of course the screen reader. That's the most important tool for me. And I also use some software, mostly, for example, some plugins or automated testing tools that allow me to test a website for certain accessibility issues. And these are quite helpful, but the most important thing is the screen reader. That's really the one tool that gives the most impression of the best impression of a website, I would say.
Wonderful, Werner. Thank you so much for your answer. There is actually another question which also goes to you. When testing accessibility, is there one specific tool that can be used, for is it a combination of tools to ensure conformity with WCAG?
Yes, the most important tool, as I said, is the screen reader, of course, and we use in general different screen readers. There are nowadays screen readers available for every major platform. For example, this demo I just did was on macOS with Safari and VoiceOver. Then we also have Windows platforms where you have NVDA available, an open source screen reader that comes for free. Or JAWS is a paid screen reader. It's very expensive, but it's widely used. And of course, also on the smartphones, you have iOS, you also have VoiceOver on it, and on Android TalkBack. And these are the most important ones, and especially for automated testing, there are plugins that you can use in the browser plugins. Axe, for example, is very good, or Google Lighthouse, and these tools do a good job, but they are not as how should I say? They give not the entire picture of the accessibility of an application or website. So if you want to be sure that it is accessible, then you should hire a screen reader user, and he or she can tell you whether your application or website is accessible.
That's great insights, Werner. Thank you so much. I think we have another last question, which rather goes to Gerrit. What influence does the new EAA have on Swiss companies and service providers? Gerrit, would you please take this question?
Yes, it's can be a big question, but it's a good question. As I said, it will influence Swiss businesses that are providing services within the European Union. So probably insurances, banks, shopping services, and so on. But we will go deeper into that topic with the next webinar. where we will have a deep dive into the European Accessibility Act and how to navigate through it. I think it will be very helpful to join for businesses that are facing this challenge. And yeah, but in general, it will affect everyone that provides services and products within the European Union that are in need of being accessible through the EAA.
Okay, thank you so much for this answer. So I would say register yourself for the 18th of September and get as much insights as possible, Gary, at that time. For now, I would like to thank you so much for your attendance. Have a great day, and hopefully we welcome you again in September. Thank you so much. All the best. Bye.